Hello, I'm Hamish, and this is the Egg Hunt ranking video. Here, I will be discussing most of the egg hunts and ranking them against each other. Since I'm ranking whole events, I'm going to be formatting this review a little differently. I'll talk a little about the egg hunt, then I'll share a few eggs I find interesting in that year, and then afterwards, I'll give my closing thoughts on the event. I will not be including Egg Hunt 2008 and 2010, as they are not real egg hunts, but more egg drops. I will also not be talking about Egg Hunt 2015, as there is no way for me to play it and I was not around then. Quick disclaimer, I did join in late 2016, so I wasn't originally there for Egg Hunts 2012 to 2016. I have, however, played those games and collected either most or all of the eggs in that event. So, I have had the full experience. Hopefully. With all that being said, let's start off with our 8th place contender. Egg Hunt 2020 is the last egg hunt to come out, and is the only egg hunt without any original content made exclusively for the event. This makes it super hard for me to get finished on the event, so thanks for that. Egg Hunt 2020 was split into 50 different games. There was no hub for this event, so you just had to go into whatever game you wanted to. There was a fan-made hub made by a few developers, but after the event they took it down. It's sad to see that it was only the responsibility of the developers to create a hub and not Roblox themselves. The whole event was very messy, only giving you an egg phone to tie everything together. And the theme of being a spy was very rarely followed in the games. Most of the quests to get eggs were just died down versions of the actual games, in hopes you would get addicted and then continue playing after you got the egg. The entire event was really messy, and the only reason I still somewhat enjoyed it is because I did this entire event with 2 of my friends. Apart from the actual event, most egg quests were really boring. I'm going to look at a few of my favorite quests from the event, but keep in mind that the bar is very low. This egg is found in a wolf or other. To get it, you have to find the golden egg on the map and survive until the end of the round with it. It's really easy, but it can take some time if you're getting unlucky, as it's much easier to beat this quest as the werewolf or the hunter than it is to complete it as a regular person. This has led to some people hating on it, which I understand, but I personally enjoy the game. This egg does look really ugly though. Break-In has the brain freeze egg, and to get it you have to find the 5 pieces of ice on the floor and give it to this random NPC. This opens up a portal where on the next day you can go into it and be transported into a really cool boss fight. I actually love this arena since it is the Egg Hunt 2013 map. It's also just a really fun quest to do. You can tell that the developers actually did put in some time and work for this one. Flop's objective is widely hated on, but I always found it charming. Sure, the controls of the game are weird to say the least, but the objective and the vibe all hit it for me. In this game you have to find the golden egg around the map, and then cook it and feed it to the giant noob. Doing this awards you the Marine Exhibit, which is a really good looking egg. And finally, in Egg, you can find the egg. This is by far the best challenge in all the Egg Hunt. Here you have to find the secret lost temple, and in there you must do the 3 challenges to collect the 3 keys. Once you do that, go back outside and open the portal. The egg would be waiting there, but now it's just a lot of money. I'm not gonna complain about that. I do like money. Egg Hunt 2020 is by far the worst egg hunt. I've never come across anyone saying it's their favorite egg hunt other than people who joined in 2020. The whole hunt was made to promote the games selected, rather than give a good experience between the player and the event. And the Fabergé doesn't even have a special place to be collected! They just sent it to you after a while! Not to mention, most of the challenges are just playing the game for 5 minutes. This brings nothing new to the table and has no effort put into it by Roblox. It belongs with the ball of yarn emoji, as both the ball of yarn emoji and Egg Hunt 2020 are useless. This is the first dev hunt I participated in. If you don't know, dev hunt is a term by the community made to label egg hunts that don't mainly take place in one game, but instead split across many. The only egg hunts that fall under this category are Egg Hunt 2015, 2019, and 2020, and it's mostly used to insult those egg hunts. Now, I'm gonna be honest. The idea of multiple games holding an egg hunt excited me. I obviously would have wanted a single game egg hunt, but I was optimistic that this style of egg hunt would work. And when I first joined the game and that infamous lobby loaded, I thought to myself, is this it? Unlike Egg Hunt 2020, I played this egg hunt alone, and wow did the experience change. Comparing this to the previous egg hunts I played was like comparing car keys to elephants. You would want the future generations to experience elephants. I still enjoyed these egg hunts because of the small amount of original content they made, but outside of the custom stuff, a lot of it felt like filler. You know it's bad when the sponsored material easily beats 80% of all the games participating in the egg hunt. And that's me being generous. Editing Hamish here. Turns out that, like, all the sponsored content in Egg Hunt 2019 also doesn't work, so... But speaking of the games participating in the egg hunt, I think it's time to examine a sample of the eggs from this event. This egg is found in an escape room. And here, you basically have to escape the Enchanted Forest map that was a custom made for the egg hunt. This map is really well made and even has a story behind it. The egg was a little buggy to collect, but the spirit was there. Although, for me to beat this map, I personally had to cheat twice. The waterfall is definitely my least favorite part of this quest, but it doesn't ruin the tower and maze parts. Once you get all 3 Roman numerals or something, you unlock the force field and can collect the egg. Right before a quick game of Simon Says Magic Rock Edition! Overall, a really good quest. This egg is found in Egg Hunt 2018. Don't get confused, this egg is for the 2019 event, but Egg Hunt 2018 is participating in Egg Hunt 2019. It's a little confusing. Here, a young booker sends you on a quest to find the mysterious Egg of Origin, which, for some reason, has another magical force field around it. To break this force field, you must find 3 mirrors hidden around the map and make the light reflect onto the force field. Then you can collect the egg. One thing to note here is that the world is incredibly confusing to navigate, and if you don't have an umbrella, ooh. Even I got confused about where to go in some parts, and I had the umbrella. Also, the game has a cute homage to Egg Hunt 2010, where the only 2 non-limited eggs at the time from that year complained about not being limited. But recently they just became limited, so they updated what the eggs say when you speak to them. Thought I'd mention that, since I found that really cute. Overall, a pretty good objective. These eggs are all in the same placement, since they are all in the main game. These 3 eggs are actually really fun to play through, and you can still play them at the time of writing this, with all of them including their own special element that can be found nowhere else. All these eggs are found in the main game of Egg Hunt 2019, and they all involve completing a little challenge. Whether that be avoiding the egg's deadly lasers, or avoiding the rising lava, or even reversing time of objects to bring them back to their old forms. These 3 stand above the rest of the game of what Egg Hunt 2019 would have been like if it wasn't a dev hunt. And it is a little sad to see that the potential of this game has been used only on a small handful of eggs. But for what these eggs are, they are very fun to acquire. This egg features a final boss fight, and oh boy is it buggy. The fight barely works nowadays, and it is a slag to get through. It's incredibly repetitive with only 3 real attacks that it does, and most of the time it just stands there waiting for you to hit it. There is never a sense of urgency in this fight, as it's very slow paced, and apparently the person you're fighting is a corrupt version of your old friend? At least that's what the game says. It's very confusing lore. Also, at the end, it gives you an option on if you want to seal the egg or take the egg. And I picked take the egg because I thought if I sealed it, I wouldn't be given an egg. Turns out this was the wrong decision, and the game punished me by, like, beating me up or something. I don't know, it's hard to tell. In conclusion, this egg hunt is leagues ahead of Egg Hunt 2020, but leagues behind every other egg hunt. I can tell there was effort put into this, but a lot of the egg hunt is tarnished by the third-party games. I only really discussed 2 games outside of the main game, and those 2 were the best ones I could find this year. Much like the 2020's egg hunt, most of the games were interested in getting players hooked on their game than they were about actually giving out a good objective. Also, the missing egg of ARG is completely bugged in this state. That's why I decided to not bring it up. So with time, even the main game is starting to slip. But in a way, I almost feel bad for this egg hunt, as today it is almost completely forgotten about. It's the weird middle child between all the egg hunts that isn't as well known as Egg Hunt 2020, and for that I wish it the best. This egg hunt is a little rough around the edges, but you can see that it does have spirit deep down within itself. Egg Hunt 2012 is the first actual egg hunt. This hunt mainly consists of randomized egg drops around the map. But that doesn't mean the eggs all just randomly fall. That would be absurd. They fall within a designated zone, most of the time, since the map is split up into 4 main parts. The bustling city with a solid 5 buildings. The dark rocky mountains that hold a mysterious secret. A big mountain that takes forever to climb up, and the waterfall, which is my favorite part of the map as it overshadows the rest of the map in comparison with its size, and is different and quirky in the way that its main color isn't brown, gray, or black, but instead a vibrant green. Some eggs are zoned to only spawn in one of these places, although most don't and they just spawn wherever they want. Good for them. Since the map is so open, the game feels lively. Despite the fact that for most of the time I was in here, I was there alone. The random eggs everywhere jumping around was adding to the overall feel of the game. Although I did notice that the buildings were like kind of broken. Like literally, they were falling apart. I don't know if that's intentional, but it is a weird design decision to make them just collapse in on themselves. But enough about the map. I want to talk about some of my favorite eggs. The first egg I want to talk about is the self-replicating egg of Grey Goo. This egg keeps duplicating itself until the original egg is found. Then it removes all copies of the egg. Both of these eggs spawn underground, and to find them you need to hop down the little caves around the map. But watch out for the lava that rises and lowers. Also, a fun detail is that when you collect the insanely valuable crystal egg, it plays a little animation of you collecting the egg. This egg exclusively spawns in the office buildings, which is pretty neat that capitalism exists in the Egg Hunt universe. I don't really have a lot other to say about it, but I did find it interesting that it only spawned in the office buildings. Not really a lot to say about this egg. And the most insane egg is definitely the egg of all-devouring darkness. This egg only spawns after 3 in-game days, in which it will start mumble rapping very loudly. It is a jump scare to go from the game's usual silentness when all of a sudden it's incredibly startling. And also, the egg only spawns on the tallest hill in the Dark Mountains, and once it's collected the server shuts down shortly after. This egg is so unique to 2012 as it probably can never be done now in 2022. It is easily the best egg in all of Egg Hunt 2012, objective-wise. With all that being said, Egg Hunt 2012 ranks low for me due to the fact that I don't really like the format of randomly dropping eggs. I mean, I'm fine with it, but when 92% of all eggs are random drops, it makes it feel really luck-based to me. Egg Hunt 2012 is a little rough, but it has spirit. I have a lot to say about this one. This egg hunt really changed me, as when I put out the quest to get every obtainable egg from each egg hunt, this hunt has not one, but 2 really annoying eggs to collect. This egg hunt really smacks you across the face, demands you to play the game for 6 hours straight, and then bores you to death with how little there is to do in the game. I'm serious! I've played this game for 9 hours. And for 90% of that, I was basically doing nothing, twiddling my thumbs until something happened. This game is boring. That's its biggest flaw. I do like some parts of the game, like how there's a boss fight, although you can tell it is now a little buggy. The charm is still there. Kinda. And it's really impressive that mainly one person worked on this. But shouldn't there have been more people to be a part of that team? Why is there only one person working on this? And to be fair on the creator, the game was meant to be played with a lot of people, and I was doing everything mostly solo. For example, the Rainbow Fabergé egg only spawns once every 6 hours. Now, during the event, you could server hop around and look to see if the egg is spawned. But today in 2022, literally nobody is playing this game. So if you want the Fabergé, you have to manually sit in a server for 6 hours and pray that someone doesn't join at the last second and sisters snatch it up from you. And what do you do during those 6 hours? Well, you can get most of the eggs in around 2 hours max, excluding for Brain's egg. So, I guess you'll have to wait. Speaking of the eggs, let's talk about some of my most traumatic experiences. This egg is a teamwork egg. Kinda. This egg involves finding 4 different shards of the egg, all hidden around the map. You can only hold 1 egg shard, so you need 4 people to get this egg. Once all 4 people find every 4 shards, they gotta skedaddle on over to the compass location and stand in the correct places. The egg will manifest its way into society and you will be able to collect the egg. The nesting eggs is my least favorite gimmick in any egg hunt game. This egg is split into 3 different colors: red, yellow, and purple. All these eggs are just reskins of each other and bring virtually nothing to the table outside of the fact that they are different colors. And to make it worse, you can only pick 1. Which, as a completionist, is the most annoying thing to have to deal with. They single-handedly bring down this egg hunt, and you can tell why. The basket egg of exception is a cute little egg that whenever you touch explodes into many smaller eggs that go speeding off into whichever direction. To collect this egg, you must bring back 15 eggs into the basket. Also, you have a timer for how fast you can do this. And you can only hold 6 eggs at a time. Oh, when you collect this egg, it explodes into confetti. I think that's really cute. Oh my god. This egg literally took me 5 hours to get. The objective to get this egg is by making a potion for this alchemist by finding little objects around the map, and then it will let you see pink tiny shards on the floor. You need to collect 100 of these. 100! Normally, how this works is the whole server gets involved into finding these shards. But since the game is virtually dead, it was just me finding 100 of these shards. And to add salt into the wound, once I collected around 88 shards, an exploiter joined my game, clicked into the For Brains section of the map, and took the egg. I understand why they did it, but I want you to know the pain I was in when I looked in the chat and saw what they said. I had to recollect all the shards in order to get this egg, and despite the word of my friends, family, and the Lord, I did it anyway. Overall, this egg hunt felt like torture after the 3rd hour. But I would be lying if I said I didn't see a strange charm that this game holds that no other egg hunt has. It's in a weird limbo for me, when it's not old enough to be considered a classic, yet not new enough to be considered modern Roblox. It exists in its own limbo that sits on the fence between old and new, and for that reason, despite all of its flaws, I can't help but be drawn to it. This egg hunt just radiates quirky energy. And for that reason, I do think it is very slightly better than 2012. I'd say it's a very loose, fine addition. Congrats, Egg Hunt 2016. You broke me. Egg Hunt 2013 is the egg hunt that I most often see as veteran players' favorite egg hunts. And I can see why. The map has become something bigger than just an egg hunt. It's transformed into a staple of creation that Roblox has made. Since the map is so iconic on the Roblox scene, I didn't expect it to be the biggest obstacle I faced while playing the game. Oftentimes, the sheer size of the map works to your disadvantage as you go along trying to collect the sparsely populated eggs. But speaking about the map, this map is yet again split into 4 different main parts. The bustling city from 2012, but this time it's actually a city, as well as being huge. The hilly plains that have very little to nothing going on within it at all times. The active volcano that you can just casually traverse and jump in. And the miscellaneous era, that is a town, a tree, and a cave all in one. The map is huge and there is a somewhat lot to do, but a lot of the events are very condensed into the miscellaneous part of the map, as when I played, I was in that quadrant more than any other. But I'm being way too harsh on this egg hunt, as it's home to some of the most unique and sometimes confusing eggs in any egg hunt. This egg hunt even has a boss fight. Granted, for me, it didn't work and it just stood there letting me defeat it really easily, but let's say that was intentional. So since I'm hyping these eggs up so much, maybe it's time we actually talk about the eggs. The troll egg is the best example for how this map may be too big. Here you are supposed to take a piece of spam from inside one of the houses, then climb all the way around the map to the top of the bridge. The journey back and forth takes forever, but the fact you have to take a piece of spam, go up the bridge, and then feed the egg 7 times is excessive. Once you finally get all 7 pieces of spam in the egg, it grows massively and rolls down the waterfall. Rest in peace. This egg spawns every now and then in the worst location in the game. The cave. I say this because the cave has these annoying parasites that almost instantly kill you if you go within range of them, and they jump around everywhere, making it really hard to avoid them. Anyways, the egg exclusively spawns in the cave, and once you collect it, it will start to fly around you. Your goal now is to start the 14-day tramping trip to the other side of the map, and then get to the top of the volcano, which is hard to navigate at night as the gray just melts together. Also, I was climbing up the volcano and forgot that these army eggs throw knives at you that immediately kill you, and oh my god. Are you serious? I had to do the same thing again. And it only took me 4 weeks, but I did get the egg of scales on my 5th attempt. But I'd say it was worth it because the egg is really pretty. To get this egg, you have to wait a bit for it to spawn, but once it does, you gotta climb to the top of this tree. The egg is located in the leaves of this tree in this little pocket. Where you collect the egg, you gotta walk all the way over to this lake. This is when the egg gets the epic growth part of its name, as the egg will very quickly grow to extreme levels and then be replaced by, like, a giant duck? It's a little confusing, and if I'm being honest, it's a bit weird, but it is an experience. Also known as the apocalypse egg, because it literally spawns the apocalypse. When this egg spawns, you know it spawned because the volcano will start erupting and giant shockwaves will be sent across the map, deleting every other egg. This will be the only egg in the entire game, and it's your job to stop the apocalypse by quickly running over to where the egg is located and grabbing it before it can do any more harm. Not going to lie, this egg seriously creases me, as a Fabergé can spawn right before this egg spawns, and that would mean it gets deleted, like the rest of the eggs. I just want to AFK hunt to see if an egg spawns, but This egg is a constant threat that no egg is here forever. This egg keeps you on your toes by basically refreshing every egg every 3 hours. It is a really good quest though, all things considered. I'm just salty because it took my Dragonborn Fabergé egg that one time. Why would it do that? This egg hunt took me a really long time to beat overall, as most of the eggs were easy to find except for the Fabergés. And I know the point of a Fabergé is to be rare, and I respect that. But overall, it took me 17 hours to beat this egg hunt. Granted, most of that time was spent being AFK. I even relapsed and spent 2 Robux on this game in order to get all the eggs. And for that, I am deeply sorry. I also have a history with this game, as when my computer was broken, I played a rebooted Egg Hunt 2013 a lot on mobile. And even got one of the Fabergés! It was the Dreamweaver one, if you must know. So this Egg Hunt is very special. A lot of people love it, a lot of people don't know about it, and a singular person ranked it 4th place out of 8 Egg Hunts. That person being me. Despite all the negatives, I say this egg hunt actually slays. The only real issue I had with it was the map. Funny enough. Go play it if you can. It's worth at least 15 minutes of your time. Quick little disclaimer that for the final 3 egg hunts, we're gonna be reviewing them a little differently. Since these 3 all have multiple worlds in them, we are going to be reviewing them by going over each world and then a noticeable egg in that specific world. This is different than just picking out a few random eggs and just writing about that. This lets us cover the games more easily. Our Bronze Medal Award goes to Egg Hunt 2014. This was a tough choice, as Egg Hunt 2013 is so easily recognizable. But in the end, I feel like Egg Hunt 2014 doesn't get nearly as much credit as it deserves. Like, this Egg Hunt was the first in multiple aspects. It's the first to introduce multiple worlds. It's the first to have a story. It's the first to introduce time travel. It's the first to have teamwork eggs involved. And it's the first egg hunt to be made entirely out of terrain. This egg hunt is very daring in how it was introduced. It paved the way for the rest of the egg hunts to follow. And although the story is subpar at best, and some eggs look absolutely horrid, I still think this egg hunt managed to do a really good job for its time. The game was split up into 5 chronological worlds. So without further ado, let's talk about them. This world is admittedly a little bland, as nothing is really happening, and most of the eggs are pretty easy to find. But there's a weird beauty in this map, as it just feels so pure and natural. And knowing what happens in this place in the future worlds makes this map feel overall quite tragic. Much like in the real prehistoric era, very little is going on. Most of the eggs are just on the floor, and there isn't really much to do in this world. But the egg I want to talk about is the egg of friendship. For this egg to be collected, you need at least 2 people. And thankfully, my friend agreed to help me get it. Thanks, bestie! To get the egg of friendship, you have to go through this mountain and stand on the 2 plates. This will open up the stone, and from there you can jump down into the little cave the egg is in. So this world isn't really anything to write home about. But that can easily change in World 2. Right? This world has a considerably bigger amount to offer than World 1, with there actually being some infrastructure. Instead of playing in a glorified field, now there are bridges, churches, houses, and even wheat fields. I think that's what they are. Although the effect of this rapid progression has led to some noticeable downsides, like, for example, the river that was once filled to the brim is now mostly dried up. But looking away from the environmental warnings, I think it's time to address something that I really dislike about this egg hunt. I find it so annoying that you can find the same eggs in every world. I wish that all the eggs in World 1 couldn't be found in World 5. It removes the uniqueness of each world, since whenever you enter a world it looks like there are 8 to 9 eggs, but in reality there are more like 4 new eggs that you couldn't find in the world before. This isn't a fault of World 2. It's a fault of the game. But this ranting of eggs made me forget why I'm here. To talk about eggs. So to get the egg of space, you need to find the secret underground cave that it lies in, and you have to run around the cave and collect it before it teleports away. It can take some time if you can't find the cave, or if it teleports away when you're close, but for me, it didn't move. I just got it. So this world has a lot more going on than World 1, but to be fair, that bar was low. Let's take a look at our halfway point of World 3. This is finally where there seems to be something to do on these worlds. This map is based off the current day present, but technically the 2014 day present, as this is Egg Hunt 2014. This world is riddled with skyscrapers, filled with computers and desks and chairs. So I think they're trying to give the impression of office jobs. Kinda symbolic how this egg hunt dives into deep themes of how copy and paste office workers seem to be under this capitalistic society we have built for ourselves. Also, this is the second time I've talked about capitalism in a video about Roblox egg hunts. Coincidence? I think not. But I do really like how this map utilizes terrain. It makes the world seem all the more believable in being related to the present. Although, I do think they overdo it in some areas. Like, seriously? Using it for a staircase? I also like how the city is implied to be run off 100% wind energy. If these are meant to be wind turbines. It really shows that in this capitalistic— We are stopping right there! But the egg I want to talk about here is the malicious egg. This egg spawns World 3 upwards, and disguises itself most of the time as a different egg. Think of it as the Mimikyu of eggs. Most of the time, it's very easy to tell it's a malicious egg, based off what eggs it spawns as. But sometimes it can actually trick you, and when that happens, it's so annoying. It will spawn a bunch of minions to attack you if you do pick it up by accident. Oh my god, is that a poached egg on the street? What are you doing here? Oh, damn it, tricked again. Curse you, malicious egg. Arg, grr. This world is the usual big city part in every egg hunt, but that doesn't mean that I don't like it. I just wish the office buildings had a little bit more importance personally, as every office building apart from the big one is basically useless. So let's see what happens to these buildings in World 4. Oh no. Nothing good happened to these buildings. Or even the rest of the world for that matter. Here, everything is destroyed. We don't know why, we don't know how, but we do know that it's been in ruins for long enough that vines are starting to grow off the wreckage. This world is probably the most beautiful and tragic world in the entire egg hunt. It's a wishful lament of what once was, and a frightening reminder of how fragile the modern day world is. Here, the waterfall is all dried up, leaving only a few puddles on the ground it once occupied. And in that land is now the big building toppled down. If you explore around the wreckage, you can find a little obstacle course that is kinda scary with some of its jumps, not gonna lie. And at the end of this little obby, you can find the egg of flawless deduction, which is my favorite egg in this world. I really love this map, as it beautifully toggles between wreckage and growth. The buildings may be gone, but the turtles are here forever. Okay guys, maybe this is a little overkill. Here, the world has been rebirthed into the name of our villain. Rabid Rabbit, who was mentioned a total of 1 time before this world. The map feels like a mix of all 5 previous worlds with no consistent theme. They can't really decide if they want this place to be completely hopeless and desolate, or completely fine with working skyscrapers and plenty of vegetation. Commit to a theme, because right now this world doesn't make any sense. The wiki states that this is meant to represent Rabid Rabbit rebuilding the world in his own image, but if that's so, why are there completely built buildings? Do the minions have to work office jobs? This world is just confusing to me. And since the whole world is just fragments of the other maps combined into one, there's almost nothing new about this map, apart from the Rabid Rabbit statue. What's in this portal, you may ask? Oh, only the most horrifying monster I have ever seen. Seriously, why does it look like that? I don't know if it's a fear tactic to make me not want to fight it, but whatever it is, it's working. But this here is meant to be our final boss fight, and it's a really hard boss fight to do. The only way I did it is with help from my friend from the Egg of Friendship, and we both had around 6 healing potions. When you finally slay Rabid Rabbit, our hero, Lucky Lapin, who also looks terrifying, falls from the sky and thanks us for saving him. He doesn't stick long enough around for you to kill him though. We tried. Multiple times. This egg hunt was really fun to play through. It had some pretty nice eggs, some pretty terrifying characters, and some pretty unique objectives. The worlds all felt connected enough to be believable in the natural time progression, yet separate enough for it to not all phase together, with the exception of maybe World 1 and 2. Finding all eggs was considerably easier to do than in Egg Hunt 2013, mostly because I didn't have to wait as long for eggs and Fabergés to spawn. And when they did, I didn't have to worry about them getting deleted. Rest in peace, Dragonborn. I loved playing through this egg hunt with my friend, and we both had a lot of laughs. I don't actually know if they liked it, but I had fun. And that's all that matters. I guess. This egg hunt actually slays. It has its fair share of problems, but if you can look past that, it brings so much to the table. This is the one that started it all for me. For someone who joined Roblox in late 2016, I did not expect there to be a special Easter-related event on Roblox, and I especially didn't expect it to go this hard. Out of all the egg hunts I've played, I definitely have the most nostalgia for this one. Even the main hat I wear is an egg from 2017. That's not to say that my rank for this is placed on nostalgia, but more that when I replayed this game, I had a bunch of slightly repressed memories resurface. The music in this game is beautiful. The whole game gets elevated by its music, and that's why it's so sad that the game doesn't have any music. What you're hearing now is edited in. This egg hunt also isn't broken like 2019's, which is weird as in the theory that the further back you go, the more buggy the egg hunts will become, but I guess that's not the case. Egg hunt 2019 is just quirky and different, I guess. This egg hunt is split up into 6 main worlds, with 3 smaller subworlds that are mostly made to collect an egg. I'm not going to talk about those subworlds because they are kind of irrelevant. But the 6 main worlds are this is the introduction world, and here it basically shows you how the egg hunt will work. They also set up the main driving point for collecting every egg by having this mysterious vault in the floor that only opens once you've collected all 40 eggs. This world also has incredible music. Much like literally every world, this egg can produce hit after hit. The best egg in this world would have to be the Lost in Transit egg. It's simple in its quest, where all you have to do is get to this island via a hot air balloon, and then hop into the plane and fly through all the hoops before the timer runs out. It's really fun to play though, and doesn't take too long for most people. And also, the rest of the eggs here aren't anything special. It's a very pretty world that obviously has had a lot of effort put into it, but it isn't anything to write home about. Unless you're me, who's literally writing home about it, so I guess it is something to write home about. This world serves science fiction on a silver platter, but it just doesn't look so appetizing to me, and I don't know why. Visually speaking, this world is incredibly amazing. I just never have been a fan of the whole futuristic world vibe. I'm sorry for bashing on this world, but I feel like it needs to be said, even though it really doesn't. This is Egg Hunt 2017. I do not need to be this harsh on it. Although I don't like the map, the Egg 9000 is one of the best quests in the entire game. Here you have to sneak into a facility and skillfully dodge the lasers in the rooms. You have to go around turning off the security or something in order to progress. This challenge gives diversity, as it is very unique from a lot of other eggs. And at the end, the turrets turn on the egg and you can collect it. Overall, the world of tomorrow is a world that doesn't appeal to me much, but it does have some good eggs, and at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? This world is very pretty. I'm typically a fan of the snowy aesthetic, so this hits all the marks for me. And also has probably the best music in the game. Don't fight me on this. The melody is incredibly soothing and adds a certain feel to the game as a whole. Although I do have one very big problem with this world. Why is there a Canadian here? The world is literally called Northern Antarctica. And Antarctica is in the very south of the world. Even if we're in the northern part, that's still incredibly south. How did a Canadian successfully catch a fish from Canada and bring it here to the Antarctic? I believe it has something to do with the seal, as the seal gets distracted by this Canadian fish. I think Canadian is a code word in this sense, and that the stereotypical Canadian person is a spy sent here to kill the seals, as these seals are shown to be carnivorous and out for human blood. I think also that the weird shape the seals are in when they are young shows that the seals in this regard are alien creatures that are slowly going to destroy the human race. But you can get the seal egg and save the universe from the cycle of alien seals. This is serious. Egg Hunt 2017's lore is bleak and scary. Overall, a 10 out of 10 map. The Timeless Desert is the obligatory desert map in every game, and it looks very dry. I typically hate the desert maps, but this map is the exception. This map is where I found my first ever egg, the Egg of Ra, which is probably my favorite egg for very obvious reasons. And the eggs in this map are some of the most flavorful and fun eggs to collect. The map is boring, but the gameplay is anything but boring. There are so many eggs I want to talk about, but the main one is the egg dress of the chief. Here, you need at least 3 people to get it, making it very unique. First off, you need those 3 people to stand on the right part of these ropes. It might take some time and some cooperation, but after a bit, this door should open. Then, you need to split up and all stand on separate buttons. Everyone should stand on one of the buttons for you to all pass forward and collect the egg. In conclusion, I have a lot of nostalgia for this world, and I would even go as far as to say it's my second favorite map in this game. Which is a little weird to say, but it just holds so many iconic eggs. How can you hate it? Second to Northern Antarctica, obviously. That lore drop was severe. This map is quirky and different in the way that all the eggs here are boring or extremely difficult to get. The whole map is based in a volcano, and the map looks good. It's just annoying that there's lava everywhere, and if you touch it, you die. And believe me, you die a lot. The village is really cute, and I like the vibe it gives, but once you go outside the village, everything looks the same. I think the most notable egg in this world is the volcano egg. Here you have to traverse this slippery volcano, and it includes a fun new gimmick. Rope climbing! Yeah! Using this rope is annoying and glitchy, as you never know if the rope is just gonna throw you off once you unharness. And for that reason, this objective is really hard to complete. The platforming is fine, but using the rope harness makes me want to cry. I'm not joking, I was completely willing to just have a full-on meltdown while playing this. So overall, this map ranks low for me, as the parts I remember are all bad, and the parts I forget are all forgettable. This map is a very pretty map that has a somewhat haunting vibe. I played this world with one of my friends, and the whole time we were just getting lost in the ocean that feels shockingly uninhibited. This map also gets really dark once you go down enough. It's like it's trying to simulate being at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, which is a little bit terrifying, not gonna lie. I do really like how subtly creepy this map is when playing alone. It's the kind of creepy that just makes me uncomfortable instead of scared. This map is beautifully designed, and all the eggs here are fun to collect and play. But my favorite egg quest here is the octopus egg. Here you need to collect 4 people and go down this cave through this buried building. Once everyone is ready, you get teleported to the octopus's lair, where the octopus will move its tentacles in hopes of hitting you. All you have to do is attack the tentacles, and once you attack all the tentacles, you get the egg. Pretty easy quest overall, but the world is very pretty, and the whole aura is a gorgeous indigo. Egg Hunt 2017 is extremely nostalgic to me, but after playing through the game again after the first world, the whole game felt like I was playing it for the first time. Also, the main villain, who is meant to be the driving factor in why you are collecting these eggs, literally shows up once and just stands there while you walk past him to complete the game. Amazing story! But I do really wish that the music was still here, as I believe that the music in this game really elevated the whole experience into an above average tier. Reminder that the music is not in the actual game, but I had to add it manually. Also, the inclusion of teamwork eggs is very unique to this game and 2014, and maybe the Egg of Wonders in 2016. What I'm trying to say is that I like teamwork eggs, and this egg hunt excels in that. Even if around only 3 quests actually need teamwork. My only big issue with this game is that the replayability value in this game isn't amazing. But to be fair, egg hunts aren't really designed to be replayed, as they are meant to be events. But still, I did feel myself getting a little bored while playing a few of the maps in this game, specifically Mount Ignis, as I have like 20 minutes of footage there and 90% of it is just me dying over and over again. With all that being said, this egg hunt actually slays. I can nitpick it all day, but deep down I still love Egg Hunt 2017. It's like a comfort meal, if a comfort meal was a game. It also holds the Egg of Ra. Let's be honest. If you've known about Roblox egg hunts, you knew 2018 would be at least at the top 2. And if you've never played an egg hunt before, how are you 50 minutes into a video about ranking all the egg hunts? I applaud your patience and intrigue in this really obscure topic. This egg hunt has so many amazing things, and the fact it's the only egg hunt to actually care about the story is literally incredible. The story goes that you're the new intern at the omelet, and you're here to inspect this mysterious egg. They ask you to grab the scroll at the back, but once you do, the egg corrupts Amor, the lovable pet bird. The library becomes ruined, and you become trapped having to do a tutorial of the new mechanics in order to escape. Once you're out, Booker, the even more lovable librarian, turns into a bookworm, and it's up to you to save him by going through the book of fairy tales and finding the scattered eggs. Also, side note, everything here looks absolutely stunning. Everything is so fluid and the whole world is gorgeous and how vibrant the colors are, and just, that's something I love about this whole egg hunt. Now, in full, there are 12 worlds, but we are not gonna be talking about all of them. This video is 50 minutes long. Do you see this? I value my sanity. We're gonna be talking about the 5 main worlds. And all the worlds are based off of common fairy tales, so let's start off with world number 1. This world is quite obviously based on Wonderland, with all the bright colors and sentient insects and even the Queen of Hearts. This world is very in your face, with everything being so extravagant and enlarged, although, funny enough, this is the only world where you can shrink. And also the music is very fun-spirited, and I can actually hear it while playing the game! I'm also a fan of how this world uses unconventional colors for things like water and mushrooms. It really proves you are somewhere otherworldly and fits the theme of being in the book of fairy tales. But the most important part of any egg hunt world are their egg objectives. And Wonderland Grove has the second least amount of eggs in any main world, only consisting of 5. The egg objectives here are all fine, but none really stand out apart from the treasured egg of Wonderland. To get this egg, you have to talk to the Queen of Hearts, who is currently hosting a tea party. But she forgot to invite anyone to her tea party, and it's up to you to send out the invites. Sending out invites can range from simply finding the NPC and inviting them, to having to do a little trivia question, to having to complete a full-on mini-game. And while I hear a lot of people don't like this egg, I gotta say it's one of my favorites. As this egg really allows you to explore the ins and outs of this beautiful map, and even though it's really time consuming, I never feel myself getting bored. Except for when you have to shrink. I don't like how slow that makes you, and it's really annoying. But alright, we've spent enough time here. Let's go to World 2. This map is inspired by the common fairy tale of Venice. It's literally Venice. This world is also my favorite world in Egg Hunt 2018. I don't know why I love this world so much, it just feels so inviting with all the warm tones around. Everywhere feels welcoming. It's a city that avoids the typical grays and dark blue colors, which leads to it feeling so special from literally every other city map in any Egg Hunt. It also avoids boring roads and boring cars and replaces them with canoes and water! It's so much more fun to go speeding around the city in a canoe than it is to be in a boring metal box. And even now, there is so much to explore. I could get lost in this gorgeous seaside city. And I have. Multiple times. Maybe too much, actually. I also just love how as you go exploring, there are certain buildings that you know are just for an egg objective by the way they pop out from the rest of the buildings. I'm talking about the restaurants, the spas, the ice cream parlors, and most notably, this sweet store. I'm a big fan of sweet treats, and the interior design of this building is one of my favorites literally anywhere. It's so pretty. This place is also home to my favorite egg objective, the sugar crystal egg. Here, you have to talk to the shopkeeper who ran out of sugar. Oh no! Good thing they have a gaping hole to a sugar crystal mine just located in their store. Isn't this a safety concern? But anyways, jump down it and do the little obstacle course located inside the sugar cubes. And once you grab one, do not fall into the water. You have to do a little more parkour in order to get out, and then return the sugar to the shopkeeper in order to get the egg. To be honest, this egg doesn't look amazing, but I love it so much. I genuinely don't know why this is my favorite objective here, but the vibes are there. You can feel them too, right? Anyways, next world. Okay, I know I was just bashing the typical city map in every egg hunt, but this is immune to that criticism. For starters, it's raining! Literally, every city looks 1,000 times better when it's raining at night. Also, everything here is so city-like. Instead of just having 5 office buildings, there is so much more happening. Like the cars that go along the streets, the alleyways that are really sketchy, and the police station that actually has people in it. This egg hunt benefits a lot from having NPCs, as this actually looks like a place people could live instead of an abandoned building that doesn't have anyone near it. This map is probably the most stunning map visually, as it perfectly masters the city vibe and feeling. And also the music is just stellar. It's probably the most recognizable song in any Egg Hunt game. Egg Hunt 2018's worlds allowed you to jump and dash around them, so it feels like you're in a playground, and that's especially true in this world. My personal favorite egg in this world is the Investigator. Here you have to go to the police station and talk to this police officer who says there was a crime happening in an apartment building. So naturally, being the little investigators we are, we go to that apartment building, which looks absolutely stunning. Once inside the building, you must find the evidence scattered around the room and bring it back to the police officer. They track the evidence down to a suspect outside that one book with the blue cover bookstore, and from there they give you the egg for tracking them down. So this world is very eventful, with it not only being so well built, but also having so many fun egg objectives. Also, there is rain! I love rain, and it matches so well with this world. But it's time to move on to our 4th world. This map is based off the fairy tale of the Amazon forest. Here, we're in a dense forest as part of an explorer's team trying to find a hidden treasure. While exploring the forest, you can find a lot of creatures just moving about. And I gotta say, I used to hate this map. I think it's because it kinda has an impossible act to follow, as Hardboiled City is iconic and I'm not a big fan of the color green. And there is a lot of green. But that's to be expected, as we are in a forest. It is incredibly well built though, with everything being animated to move around, really giving you the feeling as if you're seeing these exotic animals just living their life. But the map can get a little repetitive, as apart from the village and temple, the rest of the map is a little disorienting to navigate. But the special egg I want to point out in this world is the idol egg. Here you can easily just pick up the egg from the little pedestal it stands on. Oh wait, never mind. Once you grab it, a trap activates, causing you to fall down the hole with a speeding boulder behind you. Here, you must jump and dash and maneuver yourself away from the boulder in order to get the egg. Once you escape the boulder, you have to do a little obstacle course, and then there you can rightfully claim the egg. It is a little ugly though, so I don't know if you'd want it. In general, I feel a little mixed on this world, as like some parts are really cool, but other parts are not so great. I think this world is still great, but I do like the previous 3 worlds much more than this one. Anyways, it's time for the final world. Okay. Okay, well, this is my least favorite world. Now, there are many reasons for this, like how it has the least amount of eggs in any world, to how disorienting this world is. The map is so big, and there are like 3 things to do in it, as the amount of eggs here is so low. Also, everything here looks the same. I don't know where to go. Everything here still looks great, of course, but compared to the other worlds in this game, this feels like a step down. Also, the map doesn't really pop out. Like, all the other worlds are colorful and expressive, and this one just isn't. This world is supposed to be Amor's lair. You know, the bird that turned evil at the beginning? How did he do all this so quickly? Speaking of Amor, he's the final boss. And unlike Rabid Rabbit, this fight is actually pretty good. It starts off with you needing to plant TNT around his feet while he's sleeping, and then once he wakes up, you gotta get more TNT and just throw that onto his back to damage him. Once you get his health low enough, he enters his second phase. The most horrifying thing I've ever seen. Turns out this is more like Rabid Rabbit than I thought. Once Amor transforms, all you gotta do is grab the TNT and shoot the crystals located around him. Do this enough times and... It says, oh wait, what's happening? Oh, oh my god! What? I killed your bird? But don't worry, he survives that, apparently. After this fight, Booker turns into a normal person, and Amor turns back into a bird, and the day is saved! All thanks to the whole crew. Egg Hunt 2018. So much can be said about this one, but the simplest way to convey my opinions on it is that it's incredible. Everything about this egg hunt is amazing. I love the mechanics so much as they allow you to explore so much more in every map. I also love the fairy tale worlds, and the fact you can use the book as a teleporter to the multiple maps. I also love the secret subworlds in every main world. I didn't talk about them, but they are still really cool. And most importantly, I love how replayable this egg hunt is. There are so many little things that I didn't notice while replaying this egg hunt, and every little detail added is so much fun to discover. So much care and time was put into this game to make it more than just a temporary event. To make it a game I can replay 4 years after the release and still find myself having as much fun as I did when I first played. This egg hunt is iconic in every sense of the word. And I think that's it. Oh my god, I did not expect this video to be an hour long. Whoops. If you actually watched this far, thank you so much. I'm really sorry that this has taken me so long to make. I just have always loved the egg hunts and I wanted to do them justice. And to my Race Around the World fans, don't worry. I am planning on ranking Season 3 when Season 4 comes out because Season 3 doesn't have enough maps to dedicate its own video. If my opinions are different than yours, sorry if I slandered your egg hunt too much. Tell me if I crossed the line in the courtroom, not in the comments. Thank you for watching, and thanks to all my friends for emotionally supporting me throughout this whole video. Have an amazing October. Is this my Halloween video? Technically. Probably. Oops.